Um, oh, there it is. So it was just, I think, refreshing it. I think that was our biggest deal. So here is our music that we're pulling from the back end and showing it on the front end. Guys, what is going on? What is going on? It's Pags, your lovely host. We are back with... Oh no, I played two at the same time. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. But we are back with a well, let's let the music clear up. All right, we're good. We made it through all that. But we are back with a Next.js tutorial, Next.js 14. This is going to be a tutorial on how to build an endpoint in Next.js. Super simple tutorial. It's something I wish I learned earlier in my career because Next is just fantastic. So I just have a plain Jane VS Code open. I've just initiated with nothing. No, just an empty folder, empty project, and I'm going to say npx create next app at latest dot slash. So that's step one. Guys, let me turn down the music just a smidge. It's just blasting in my headphones. So Next gives us a bunch of configurations. Let's go ahead and answer these. I say yes for TypeScript, yes for ESLint, yes for Tailwind, no for the SRC directory, yes for app router, and no for import alias. So those are my default configs. And yeah, let's build. Let's also learn something, guys. I want to learn something with you. So I'm going to show you my knowledge of it, and then let's build something as well, or I'm going to learn alongside of you guys. So let's run this application. I'll say npm run dev in the terminal, and you'll see we get localhost popped up here with our guys. Sorry about that intro. There was all sorts of jams and music going on. I got these pads here, so when I touch one of them, they're one shot, so they'll play all the way through until the last sound is done. I was messing around in Logic forever to figure out how to not do that. But the only way to do it is then I have to hold the pads, which I'm absolutely not going to do until I let go. Then it would stop playing sounds. So someone knows how to cut it off where they don't play. Let me know. That would be cool. But anyway, so I'm in my page.tsx. I just deleted the main domain. I just cleared out all of this Next.js templating stuff. Oops. Did not mean to click that. And we should just have a completely blank project now. So I'll say hello world, typical start, right? Here we go. And I'll say class name. Let me close the sidebar. Say class name. I'll say flex call, width dash full, min height screen. What else do we want? We want justify center and item center as well. That should, boom, pop it right into the middle. Right into the middle of our DOM. And let's build an endpoint. Let's just build some sort of data fetching deal off of the back end. So first, let's install Axios. So I open up my terminal. I'm going to press this button to split terminal. You can close your server if you want and then also do this, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it in split terminals. So I'll say npm I Axios, and then you can see my IntelliSense is helping at types /Axios. So that is going to be the npm command that we want to use for this. Guys, I'm going to relax on the music. It was a lot in my ears for that, so we'll just play something casual. So I have npm I Axios at types Axios. Let's go ahead and download that. I love that little sound bit. I forget that artist name is Shiloh something, I think. Shiloh something. Super talented. Gone too soon. But so npm I Axios, and then get the types in there as well for Axios. That's super important if we're using TypeScript. If you're not using TypeScript, you don't need to use the types. But so let's do that. So we'll say import Axios from Axios. And again, if you have a red underline right here, it's because you did not import the types. So to fix that, you definitely need to say npm I at types /Axios. And that should fix that. But we've already done that. So We don't need to do that. So now in Next.js, the beautiful thing here, the very beautiful thing, is we can build our endpoints in here, and Next automatically, especially the Next.js 14 with the app directory, and that's what I'm going to learn alongside of you guys today, is you could build endpoints in your app directory. But how I know how to do it traditionally is to build a folder. So let's go ahead and build a folder. We're going to name it Pages. And then in Pages, we make a new folder within the Pages directory, and we call it API. Guys, I got to be honest. I keep getting this pop-up. I'm super skeptical. It's a really dark name for an HTTPS request thing. I pulled a song from YouTube. I got the beat from YouTube, and then I made a song. I don't know if you guys had seen it on this YouTube channel. It's kind of this R&B song. Total tangent, by the way, complete tangent. We'll wrap back into the thing. I just want to preface that I complete tangent to deal. I made this song on the YouTube channel, right? Because I used to be a professional musician, right? I used to go play shows, sell out shows, and it was like a real deal. So yeah, I'll still make music kind of in the background. You know, and some of the music that you guys even hear here is actually my music, right? So
we're not happy to do
let me play a clip for you guys.
Out of that,
sorry, one of my videos is playing, but you could see, where did I just put it? It was one of my recent videos. I just put out a song, and let's see. I'm nervous to press a button because if it's the wrong one, it's gonna last forever. But I just put out the song Pags, Never Trust Again. Really good song. But the beat was from YouTube. So I took the beat. Typically I produce my own beats, but this was just such a beautiful one. I'll give you guys a little glimpse. If not, skip ahead if you want. It's pretty good for me. I really enjoy it. So, but ever since I got that beat from YouTube, I've been getting this like weird pop-up that I like definitely need to clean out my computer because that's not a good pop-up. But anyway, that's a tangent. Let's get back to Next.js and what we're building here. So I just want to fire off this endpoint we were looking at the Pages directory. So I go to Pages, API, and then this is where I want to name my endpoint. So we could build an endpoint of anything. We can actually say music songs. Let's do that. Music.ts. And what I want to do is import it's Next API request, I believe, and Next API response for our types. And then we also need to build a handler. So this handler, guys, I'm going to go ahead and steal it from another project real quick. I do this all the time. So we need this handler. Boom. And this is what this handler will look like: export default async function. And these are all of our switch case statements. This is just a really clean way to do it. And then we want to build a function. So let me steal this function, or at least the beginning of it. We'll say don't save. We just want this project out of here now. But let me explain it a little bit to you guys before I write it. And all this code, by the way, it's going to be available in the description. All of it will be available. There should be a GitHub link to the repository. Let's talk about a little bit what these case statements and what's going on here. So with request, right, with endpoints, we have our four basic, I think there's five. You have your creates, read, update, delete, and patch requests. So each HTTP response that we're going to trigger from Axios is going to trigger one of those responses. We're going to locate the endpoint, the music endpoint in this case. We'll dummy up some data. We'll make it look like it's collecting music records or something, or showing music records. And the biggest thing is all this can be done in-house in a box within Next.js, which is just beautiful. Everything that we need is going to exist between these two things. So let's dummy it up real quick. It's going to be a super simple tutorial. Let's rename the function. Let's say get music. And because it's a GET request instead of an update request, not a put request, right? We want to say GET here. So this handler, all it's doing is it's going to receive one of these things, a request and a response. And based on the request or response it gets, is going to tell it which function to fire off, and then we're going to build the function and say what the function is going to do. So that's a little bit bird's eye view what's happening on the quote unquote backend here. I don't really see it as front end and back end anymore. I just see it as this is just your data handling, and the other one's just your data showing stuff. But let's go ahead and build out some custom JSON templates. So we'll say const music library or something, right? This would be like your database of music. Obviously, we're not going to link up a database in this one, but let's say music record. Let's say music ID, I guess. Yeah, music ID number 1. And basically, I'm just going to build out the data format of a song. So we'll say music song or even song name. We could use that one that I just made actually. So never trust again, and then we'll say song artist, right? So we'll say Pags, and then maybe there's some more metadata with this song. So let's look it up real quick. Pags, never trust again. Boom, YouTube. Here it is. So it looks like it's 3 minutes and 22 seconds long. So let's put that as well. We'll say song length, maybe like in seconds. You could either store it in seconds. So it'd be 60 times 3, 180 plus 22, so 202 roughly. Or we could store it as a string value as well. That works too. We would just, if we wanted to post something, we would need something that posted to a string value. As well, or converts minutes to string value type things. So just important things to understand how you're handling your data. There's no one right way to do data, but there's no one wrong way either. So it's just you just have to be mindful of how you're building your data. So music ID even, yeah, it's 1 right now, but we could also make it a string. That's fine too. But so here effectively is our music library, right? Maybe we'll get a second song, right? So we'll say, here's the second song, and I have more music. So let's say Ash, right? And the song artist is Pags. We'd have to find this song, Golly. Okay, we'll pick another song. There's a library of 250 of them. So hopefully we can come up with one of them, right? So here's a new one, right? Welcome to Westlake. Let's see, it's 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's steal that one. Let's say song name, Welcome to Westlake. And it was 2 minutes and 10 seconds long. Song artist is Pags, and and so this is going to be our music library on the back end. We just dummied up this data. Now, obviously in a database, this would all just exist in the database, but we're hard coding the database on the back end. That's all we're doing. So I'm going to close that, and what I want to do is say I want to do a try catch. And when someone does a GET request to this endpoint, I want to say res.send music library. So that'll send all that data to the front end, and we can actually prefix this with res.status and say 200 to let us know that the request went through. 200 is just a good server response, and on the tail end, I'll say res.status 500, so you can see I copied that down. And response, we could do an error message as well. Or I can even not do an error and I could say throw new error. You could do stuff like this. Error.message, I believe. Okay, that's not working. I lied. Can't do that. We could say console.error and say error. Error.message if you want to see it, but you'll get the object here, throwing the error to the front end. So when we now trigger this GET request, and let me kind of explain lucid chart bird's eye view of how this stuff's all kind of working. So when we do trigger this GET request, it's going to have one or two outcomes. Either it's a successful response and the front end receives the music library, or it's a failed response for whatever reason. Maybe the music library was wrong data format. Maybe there was an issue with the database. Who knows? But if it fails to receive that response, it'll default to the catch. So I'm going to pull up this chart here. Let me just kind of contextually give you guys what's going on. So this database, this is our music library. That's what's going on. That's this data right here, all that music library stuff. Oh, there's that pop up one more time. I'm going to fix that, guys, sooner than later. So I'll match casing to let us know it's the same data. That's what we're hard coding here, but effectively in our model, it's going to be the same right here. Our API is actually this whole file is our API. So that's this file. So I'll say music.ts, and then our front end, we can go back to our page now, and this is our front end. So this is going to be our page.tsx. And how it works is the page.tsx is going to trigger, maybe I can get a little square or something. Here's our actions, right? The front end is saying, I'm a user. I logged in and boom, I need some sort of query to this API that is going to then, this API knows what to do. We've already programmed what it's going to do. It's going to do this try and catch, and this API is going to try to receive this music library and then ultimately bring all that data, res.send all that data back. So the first request, here's the request, is the front end first needs to request, hey, I need that music. And then this API is going to go to the database, or our mock database in this case. And then the mock database is going to be responsive. I mean, really, it doesn't go straight to the front end. Really, it would go here and then over to the front end. But effectively, from our experience, we can kind of view it as the response feels something like that, where the API is triggered, it's requested, and then the response says, whoop, okay, here's all that music data. And then now on the front end, we can then show that data. So that's kind of bird's eye view. Let me get out of that. The steps of what's going on. So let's build for that. Now, to trigger the front end response, we want to build a function on it, right? We want to say function get music or fetch music, whatever you want to name it. Either or is perfectly fine. And I'm just building out my function. And what I want to do is make it an async and await function. And I want to say axios.get. And we want to, in Next.js, it's so beautiful. It automatically will get us to the API right here if we just do /API, and then we just need to tell it which file we want. Because let's say down the road we build more than just music. Maybe we also have like a labels function. Maybe we have a videos function. Maybe we have a file, right? An API that's like artist specific, or even pay for how much these records are making. Maybe there's things like that, and they would be their own API with their own data, with their own logic. I'm going to delete it, but it's important to just understand that we're first going to the API, and then the music. And then this bit right here, this .get, or whether it's a .post or .put or .delete, that's what is being notified here. So if we say .get, it knows to use the case of a get. If we wanted to build a delete function, I would say delete. And then I would also need this .get to be .delete. So let's undo that though, real quick. Let's just get it back to this stage right here. So our fetch music function looks like this, and we can declare this with const response. So this is what it should look like. And this should return all that music, assuming we have a correct server response at 200. We should be able to fetch the music and then see it in our console log, at least if we console log this. Now we could already skip the step. I already know the next step for us, which is obviously going to be const. We could say music library, right? And then set music library, or set music, however you want to call it on the front end. We want to set it to use state, and we obviously need to import use state. Oh, here's that thread again. We will remove that shortly. but we can import use state from React. That's what we need. And I need to also convert this to a client component. So we can make server components, and I'll have a tutorial on that in a moment, but not today. And what we want to do is obviously use a client on the top here, guys. And again, steal all this code. It's all in the repository. And then right here, I want to say, let's receive that response from the music library. Oh, maybe I don't want to declare it here. Or maybe I want to say response.data. There we go. Okay, so I want to receive that response.data from the backend, from this endpoint, if you will, which is that music.ts file. And then we want to set that response to some variable in our front end that we can then use, right? We can then use that variable here, and we could say music library.map and go ahead and map into the music. Map into the music. That sounds like it should be a song. And then I could say music dot, and now we have access to all of that data. So all those things that we write, like the song name, the song ID, we could write all of it. So music library, obviously it's defined, or we're getting a red line because it's possibly undefined. So we just need to do this, and then song name does not exist on type never. Let's see. I'm going to put an any type right here. Let's see if that defines it. Really what we should do is build a music type. So I'll go to the music file, and let's look at our music library. And really we should build a type for this. So music ID, let's see, so type music, then hold on, let me write it out. Music ID is a string. Song name is a string. Song artist is a string, and song length as well is a string. So that's our music type. I'm going to put it at the back end here, or at the top of the file, and then I'll also put the same type at the top of this file, which is typically you should pull them from the same spot, but because we're kind of on the fly, I'm gonna let myself get away with this. Actually, I'll even delete it off the back end. We won't even have it on the back end. We'll just check the payload on the front end. And over here, we'll just say const music library, set music library equals this to the music. So now all of our data is going to be type safe, and we don't need to. You see how that red underline got fixed. Because we're now type safe, and we know what the music is. So let's import one more thing from React. Let's import use effect. And finally, on page load, we just want to fire off this music, or this fetch music function. So I'll say use effect. Let's arrow function into it, and I'll fetch music right here, and then I'll add a dependency array, and we should see the music pop up. Let's refresh. Let's see if it works. If not, we have an error. Looks like we do have an error. So let's see. Axios uncaught error. So we're getting a request with 404. Let's figure out why. Looks like we're getting a response.data. Why is it? Do we need to parse the data first? Okay, I'm going to console log this real quick, and then I'm going to throw it to ChatGPT on how to fix. But the biggest bird's eye view to connect at this point, guys, is the fact that we do have an endpoint within Next.js. All with, here's your front end file, here's your back end file. But let's throw this in ChatGPT real quick. I'm going to say I am having an error. Let me copy this. I am having an error. Getting my music info. And then let me copy this as well and put it in ChatGPT and see what chat tells us. So let's see what chat says. API routing, music.js, error handling, boom, boom, boom. Oh, you know what it could be? I should maybe need to send it as JSON. So if we come back to the music.ts file, this might need to be JSON. Let's see. No. Okay. Looks like it's something else. Guys, I really meant this to be a smooth, just on the fly deal. Key prop. Oh, we do need a key prop. Maybe that's what it has to do with. So let's see. Div key equals music, music ID. Let's try that one. I don't think that's the error. I think we're getting data here that needs to be parsed. So let me pull this out, this music library. Let's try to pull this out real quick and put it above, just outside of the function. See if that cleans anything up. Axios.get response.data. Hold on, guys. Sorry, little live debugging sesh. Let's see. This really shouldn't be this convoluted of a deal. So API/music is not found. Pages API. Okay, let me pull up a pages/API music not found. Now, why would that be? Why would that be? Okay, I'm gonna get ChatGPT one more deal real quick. Let's see. So ChatGPT, I am getting a 404. Boom. Receiving a 404 API is not found on the server. This is often because the route is not set up correctly. So what I'm going to do actually is just crash the server and then restart it and see if that'll adjust anything. Sometimes it's simple stuff like that, guys. Sometimes it really is. So let's see if that does it. It may not. So let's fire it up one more time. Pull ChatGPT up real quick. It says get music. Here is your deal res status. Oh, there it is. So it was just, I think, refreshing it. I think that was our biggest deal. So here is our music that we're pulling from the back end and showing it on the front end. So let me remove this, and then we can build out obviously all of our data here, however you need it. So if you need to design this to be much prettier, all these things, if you need more than the song name, you also need the song artist, right? Let's say maybe that would be in a span element, right? So span, let's try that out, guys, and just style it up as you would like, right? So let's see, opacity -50. Boom, here we go. So yeah, now we have our music starting to show up here, and then obviously we can do more elements. We could do, what else was on there? The song length, right? So we could see how long the music is, or how long each song is. What else can we do? We can margin left -2 just to give it a little space. Yeah, guys. So steal that, run with it. But that is effectively how seamless Next.js should be, right? Where we shouldn't have all these problems, but just crash your server, fire it back up,